Within the black tortoise, immortal domain of the upper bound, Jiang Ningran's true form suddenly regained consciousness, taking deep breaths, before gradually walking towards the door. I didn't expect someone as troublesome as the Nine State to appear. Inside the heavenly arrogance hall, golden figures continuously emitted energy towards the treasure beat. The patriarch of the Jiang family has returned. How does it feel to be disappointed? And the owner of this voice is none other than the long disappeared, sacred martial immortal venerable. I've always said that the ants of the lower realm are not worth our attention. It would have been better to eliminate them early on. However, Jiang Ningran remained indifferent. It's truly ridiculous. A group of high-ranking individuals from the Black Tortoise immortal domain attacking a small being in the lower realm with their treasures. Isn't it because you're afraid of Qin Chainen? When the immortal venerable heard this, they burst into laughter. Are we afraid of a mere waste from the lower realm? If Qin Chainen can come up, I'll do a handstand and defecate the sacred martial. Immortal venerable proudly said. He stole my holy immortal sword. If he hadn't perished due to the Nine State, I would personally kill him in the lower realm. After all, the lower realm is no longer bound by laws. Then he sneered. How are you going to deal with your heavenly arrogance? Jiang Xianchu in the Nine State cauldron, colluding with beings from the lower realm, and even marrying them privately. The reputation of our black tortoise immortal domain has been tarnished like this. Is the patriarch of the Jiang family going to turn a blind eye? Jiang Ningran had to compromise. Upon hearing the threatening words of the sacred, martial immortal venerable, Jiang Xuanchu's reincarnation in the lower realm has revealed a flaw. The attempt to seize the realm failed. Wait until she awakens, and let the heavenly thunder strike her soul 1,000 times. Whether she lives or dies depends on her fate. Jiang Xuanzhu's body was surrounded by a trace of immortal aura, making her even more beautiful. Then a young maid in green used a secret technique of the Jiang family to retrieve the Nine State cauldron from Jiang Xuanzhu's forehead before long. The maid handed the Nine State cauldron, taken from Jiang Xuanzhu's forehead, and explained Jiang Xuanzhu's divine soul has been severely damaged. She may have difficulty awakening for a while, seeing that the Nine State cauldron had been successfully obtained. The sacred martial immortal venerable directly proposed to destroy it. Jiang Ningran spat directly. Screw you, you big-headed ghost. I will absorb the energy of the Nine State realm to nourish my Jiang disciples. Isn't this also a torment for the lower realm? In Shanshanen Jiang Ning, Grant also noticed that there seemed to be something inside the cauldron. Suddenly, a golden rune flew out of the cauldron and exploded in front of everyone. The true interpretation of the immortal Tao, all living beings. Upon seeing the smoke from the explosion, the green-haired riff-raff cursed. What the hell is going on? Suddenly a slender arm burst out and grabbed the riff-raff's head. With a pop sound, the green-haired head turned into splattered watermelon juice. The individuals who were boasting just moments ago were startled with a single hand. I crushed the immortal venerable. One of the riff-raff was the first to react, and used his supreme skill, the yin-yang dualistic bowl, while shouting, "You all step back first no matter what it is." Before he could finish his sentence, my black boot stomped on his face. My voice also came out faintly. So much nonsense. After dealing with these riff-raff, I transformed into a figure and flew towards the binding, attacking the lower realm. In an instant that proudly cherished treasure shattered into fragments. Upon seeing this, the crowd angrily shouted, "Who is this guy? How dare he mess up our grand hall like this?" After completing all of this, my cold voice came out faintly. "Turtle immortals, who are you playing with? Come and play with me too."
Hian min gran trembledan kentroulebli.
Upon seeing this figure clearly, he kept muttering, "How did you come up here?" Only now did they realize that I had changed my appearance, and the pressure of the immortal emperor Realm was released without concealment. There is no discount for this exchange of the avatar. Deducting 100 million domain. Value exchange. For the avatar of the immortal Emperor Realm host. Enjoy your meal. I have no reservations about this upper bound land. Transformed into a true demon. I will recklessly destroy everything around me. The riff-raff of the upper bound. Felt the suffocating power. A sense of unease surged within them. Is this the pressure of the immortal Emperor Realm? But immediately he denied this absurd news. A realm that we could never reach in our entire lives. How could this waste of the lower realm possibly achieve it? Zhang Ningran and the others also looked as if they had seen a ghost. Is this his true strength? Seeing the vanishing sense of superiority among the upper bound individuals, I couldn't help but mock. Is it so rare for a mere immortal Emperor Realm? As long as I want, even if it's the Lord of the immortal domain, I can do as I please. These words also stirred discontent among the crowd. You're just a fool from the lower realm. You're not even worthy of mentioning that title. Don't panic, fellow immortals. With so many of us, how can we be afraid of him? As for this upstart, I don't mind at all. In an instant I arrived by his side, grabbing his head with my hand. My demonic whisper echoed throughout the battlefield. I ask you, what is the lower realm to you? Think carefully before answering. Oh, if you answer incorrectly, I will destroy this immortal realm. Although fear filled this youngster's heart, he still clung to the sense of superiority of the upper bound 9 state and other. Lower realms are nothing more than our nourishment, just like livestock waiting to be slaughtered. Hearing the words of this youngster, I couldn't help but burst into laughter. They really don't see us as humans. What was I expecting after all, kid? You answered well, but don't bother answering next time. With that, I casually crushed his head. A generation of immortal monarch realm fell. Congratulations to the host for killing an immortal Emperor Realm. 5th stage immortal reward 10 million domain value. The riff-raff, seeing my ruthless actions, couldn't help but retreat. My words came out faintly. I am truly amazed. Where does your sense of superiority come from? The palace hasn't even seen the magnificence of the flying immortal mountain yet. The fruits grown on the immortal tree are useless. Otherwise they wouldn't come to me begging for fruits. Is this the immortal realm, where countless male protagonists in cool novels break their heads to ascend? It's really interesting. Afterward, I casually sat on the ruins, mocking these so-called immortals in front of me. A bunch of self-righteous fools. I'm right here, why don't you dare to come up? Is it because I'm an immortal Emperor Realm? One realm higher than you. You're really scared to death, huh? What a bunch of trash. Perish along with the immortal realm. My words were like sharp blades, completely tearing apart their so-called sense of superiority. One riff-raff couldn't tolerate my mockery anymore, and angrily shouted, I can't fucking take it anymore. He swung his weapon with unstoppable killing intent, aiming a blow at me. Facing such an attack, I didn't feel much. I gently lifted my hand and grabbed his wrist, threw him aside like trash. Faced with such a huge gap in realms, even an immortal Emperor Realm is as powerless as an ant, with no room for resistance, and will be crushed directly. The remaining riff-raff saw me, brutally killing their companions, and each used their lifelong learnings to attack me. Seeing the riff-raff rushing towards me, I couldn't help but find it laughable. It is you who should be destroyed. I suddenly reached out and caught the rapidly spinning jade treasure in midair with an indifferent expression. I swung it forward with each swing I made. An immortal would fall. Although they resisted with all their might, it was still absurd, like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. In the blink of an eye, the group of immortal Emperor Realm individuals rushing at me were all annihilated by me. And this move is called the dog-beating staff technique. Countless prompt sounds kept ringing, but I had no time to keep track of it. Right now, all I wanted was to destroy everything. As I approached closer and closer, those immortals were filled with fear. and voices filled with endless terror kept resounding. Quickly go and invite the patriarchs from higher realms, the immortals outside the battlefield, witnessing this hellish scene, lost their fighting strength one by one. We are no match at all. The Black Tortoise. Immortal domain is about to be finished. Suddenly everyone thought of Jiang Xianchu, and they ran towards the figure of Jiang Xianchu. That is Qinshinan's weak spot. As long as we capture her, Qinshinan will die before the crowd could get close. They were penetrated by specks of starlight. Screams filled the air for a while, and my voice, as cold as an ice cellar, came over. I thought you would have some guts to come and kill me, but garbage is just garbage. Only capable of thinking of despicable methods. The riff-raff also turned into ashes in this icy voice, forever dissipating in the world, never to be reincarnated again. This also scared Jiang Ningran, who was preparing to strike first, to freeze in place, afraid to move. In Jiang Ningran's heart, he realized that this group of fools, openly attacking Jiang Xianchu, would definitely be killed by Chun Chang'an. Fortunately, my Jiang family has a secret technique to control Jiang Xuanchu's soul, which can be used as a threat in times of crisis. But before it could be implemented, my mocking voice entered Jiang Ningran's ears. Master of the Jiang family, this should be your true identity this time, right? I know you must have a way to control Jiang Xianchu, so from this moment on, if Jiang Xianchu suffers even the slightest injury, I will repay it 100-fold on you, Jiang. Family master, you better protect Jiang Xianchu well. Under this boundless terror, Jiang Ming ran hurriedly, agreed. Then my attention was drawn to the thunderous noises, coming from the nearby sky. I saw bolts of thunder, tribulation descending upon Sacred Marshal, Immortal Venerable at that moment. The aura of Sacred Marshal, Immortal Venerable, suddenly increased. Qinshinan, you've gone too far in your bullying. I will make you pay the price. Even the riff-raff who had already lost the battle suddenly had hope, and they all cast their gazes upon Sacred Marshal. Immortal Venerable, Sacred Marshal, Immortal Venerable, is about to break through the Immortal Emperor realm. It is rumored that Sacred Marshal, Immortal Venerable, has a killer move. Even immortal emperors would avoid it in his prime. Behind Sacred Marshal, Immortal Venerable,
A sword aura emerged Sacred Marshal.
Heavenly Sword Qinshinan. Today I will settle the grudges of stealing the sword, and the humiliation. A fierce light flashed in Sacred Marshal, Immortal Venerable's eyes, and he burst into arrogant laughter. I will make you regret coming into this world. Then an unparalleled sword descended upon me, with endless pressure, but I remained completely fearless. I hold the jade staff, and gently shake it towards the giant sword. A terrifying aura instantly spread out. In an instant, a beam of light annihilated the Sacred Marshal, Immortal Venerable, from the highest heavens to the depths of hell. The recently promoted Sacred Marshal, Immortal Venerable to the Immortal Emperor realm, had no idea what had happened. The nearby lackeys, after sensing this miraculous destruction, were shocked and unable to attach themselves to the situation. Could it be that the domain Lord has descended upon this place? The small fry who had just been fleeing cried out once again and ran away in shock. Someone stop him. The control center of the Black Tortoise, Immortal Domain, received an urgent report from 800 miles away. Lackeys rushed in with an anxious expression, pushing open the door. It's bad, Patriarch. People from the 9 state, lower realm have launched an attack. Voices suddenly rang out one after another. The 9 state, is it the same 9 state that was mentioned in the recent message? First there was Phone Chi Yun, and now there's another one. These riff-raff should have been eliminated earlier. The focus shouldn't be on why people from the lower realm can come to the upper realm. A female voice suddenly sounded. It's not the first time this has happened. It would be better to kill him early on. The bald-headed old man remained calm and composed. No need to panic after all. Sacred, martial, immortal, venerable is still here. A powerful and resolute voice suddenly spoke up. No, many immortal venerables have already fallen. The one who has come is called Qin Chanen, a person from the 9-state lower realm. They must have used special means to come to the upper realm and seek revenge, slaying martial. A 4th-level immortal emperor realm slowly spoke. Should we treat him as he treated us? Now that the heavenly arrogance palace has been destroyed, we can no longer seize the lower realm territories. The situation is becoming unfavorable for us. If we continue like this, boss, we must take on this battle. The man known as the boss said in a deep voice, no. We all know that the war began the moment he arrived, even if there's only one opponent. As I looked at the spectacular scene in front of me, I let out a sigh. This time I won't lose again. One strike to sever all debts and grievances, welcoming the true war at the moment. When my battle with the upper realm officially began, my portrait was projected throughout the entire Black Tortoise continent. A majestic voice followed closely as the second elder. I give the order for all high-level immortals in the Black Tortoise, immortal domain, to gather at the heavenly arrogance palace and hunt down the invaders. From the immortal domain Qin Chanen, the beheader, I will take him as my disciple and reward him with immortal treasures and herbs to cultivate him as an emperor. After that, a series of words that defamed me echoed, one after another. The ignorant leaks of the immortal realm also joined in the commotion. Filthy and dirty creatures from the lower realm. Kill him quickly. 2 little devils in the crowd, who were preparing to join the fun, were stopped and scolded to stay behind. At this moment, a man riding an immortal horse appeared, causing cheers among the lackeys in the field. This is the battle maniac, brilliant and honorable immortal. It is said that he has never tasted defeat since birth. Upon seeing my portrait, the man whispered to himself, how much merit will I gain from killing such a cunning and evil person? And he started to look forward to it. Then there was a violent roar from the sky, and the immortal ships from the Mo family all set sail. The imposing momentum aroused the temptation of the immortal realm leaks. After that, an observant lackey pointed towards the distance and said, look, there are also demons one by one. The demon kings, who had lived for countless years, also appeared, along with the peerless powerhouses, who had been hiding in the immortal realm. One after another, resounding voices echoed. Suddenly a golden, silk, woven scroll appeared abruptly in front of everyone. A voice rang out, first eternal life, immortal venerable. It's actually him, a burly figure with a slightly stooped posture, holding a giant pen, also appeared within everyone's sight. According to legend, eternal life, immortal venerable, recorded all the history of the Black Tortoise. Immortal domain. The crowd of lackeys became excited, hoping that their names would also be recorded in history. Suddenly, eternal life, immortal, venerable, jumped up on the scroll and swiftly moved around. Then he began to write on the scroll with great flourish. In the Black Tortoise calendar, 250 years, the thieves from the 9-state invaded and caused chaos in the Black Tortoise immortal domain. In order to punish these thieves, all the immortals took action. Suddenly, eternal life, immortal venerable, burst into laughter. Throughout my life, I have been recording the legendary deeds of the immortal realm, often receiving honors. This time is no exception. It's just that the Jiang family withdrew for no reason, and they will undoubtedly be criticized for it. Those who choose to retreat from a guaranteed victory are truly foolish. Jiang Ning ran himself is now filled with deep fear, trembling uncontrollably until now. Eternal life, immortal, venerable, who was recording the annals, suddenly shouted to the soldiers below him, soldiers, this will be a great opportunity for you to be recorded in history. Make good use of it. The boundless soldiers suddenly shouted in unison, fight, fight, fight. With a powerful momentum, eternal life, immortal, venerable was also ignited by the soldier's spirit, raising his arm high as well. Next, we just need to stand here and witness The glorious moment in the history of Black Tortoise. The second elder of the Black Tortoise. Immortal Domain joked, I didn't expect even eternal life. Immortal Venerable to come. This battle will surely be remembered for generations to come. Just then a green light shot up into the sky, directly splitting the continent into two halves. A terrified roar suddenly resounded. Chin Chan En is coming to kill after my strike. It further ignited the passionate hearts of the lackeys to defend their homeland. The crowd of lackeys also unleashed their most powerful artifacts, prepared to fight me to the death. Seeing these lackeys gathered together, I revealed a demonic smile. All the high-ranking immortals have arrived. Perfect timing for the war to begin. And under my dog-beating stick technique 2.0, the sound of domain value being credited transformed into a wonderful echo, reverberating in my ears as I liberated my nature. I completely unleashed myself. Despite the intense battle, I never forget to mock the crowd with a confident and friendly gesture. Shrimp soldiers and crab generals, brilliant and honorable. Immortal was the first to charge at me, wielding dual axes and slashing towards me, but I had no intention of engaging in a fight, and swiftly ran away. Amidst the bewildered eyes of the crowd, the lackeys naively thought I was afraid, and in a frenzy chased after me. Upon seeing this eternal life, Immortal Venerable waved his brush. The 9 state thieves were no match. Escaping like dogs, it's extremely ridiculous. The elders burst into laughter at this sight. And to prevent me from escaping to the moral realm, one of them directly closed the passage, connecting the upper and lower realms. But what followed was an explosion. The immortal treasury was blown up by that brat. Another elder couldn't stop scolding. That was the precious cultivation, resource of our Black Tortoise. Immortal Domain. The Grand Elder's icy voice slowly resounded. This scoundrel is quite adept at diversionary tactics. Actually, taking the opportunity to destroy our domain's treasury. I'm afraid his intentions go far beyond this. This cunning brat wants to destroy the lifeblood of our immortal realm. He ordered all the immortal families to scatter and intercept him at the major immortal treasures, and make sure to behead this thief under their horses. Even so, my acts of destruction have not yet ended. Detestable explosions sounded one after another. In every corner of the immortal realm, eternal life immortal, venerable also recorded. The cunning and treacherous nature of the 9 state thief taking this opportunity to destroy the immortal treasury and ruin our Black Tortoise. Immortal Domain's lifeblood, brilliant and honorable Immortal Venerable, wielding dual axes, finally arrived in the territory where I was located, shouting loudly as he charged at me. Eternal life Immortal Venerable continued to record that brilliant and honorable Immortal Venerable led the Imperial Guards and successfully intercepted the thief. The cultivation of the Imperial Guards surpassed the Immortal Emperor realm, and their combat power was comparable to the Immortal Emperor realm. Seeing the Imperial Guards raining down upon me was nothing more than a fresh group, buying experience while eternal life. Immortal Venerable excitedly and madly wrote about the 9 state thieves. Nowhere to escape, I too became eager, due to the abundance of domain value before me, ready to break my reaping record. Drawing my finger and slashing a golden light into the distance, the so-called army of Immortal Emperor Rome instantly turned into various alert sounds, echoing in my ears the remains of the dead, even falling in front of the little devil. The little devil's world also turned black and white, in an instant completely losing its brilliance. Seeing this devastating scene, eternal life and moral Venerable's heart sank, and the twin sisters behind asked if they should record it. Eternal life and moral Venerable's trembling hand began to write with the pen. Whatever happens, it must be faithfully recorded. This is my duty then. In an extremely sorrowful mood, Eternal life Immortal Venerable documented everything. The Royal Imperial Guards confronted the thieves head-on and were completely annihilated. But this also ignited the passionate heart of eternal life, immortal venerable, believing that the next time would surely succeed. The fairy ship from the Mo family launched missiles at me, those missiles capable of destroying immortal domains, indiscriminately coming at me, coupled with attacks from ancient ferocious beasts. Under the combined force of the two energies, mushroom cloud formed, gathering countless energies. Suddenly rising, the brush closely followed. Black tortoise, 250 years under the siege of the Mo family, and the demonic clan, the nine-state thief, was utterly defeated in this battle. Black Tortoise immortal domain achieved great success. As the brush descended as one wishes, golden cudgel pierced the sky until all the Mo family, fairy ships above the sky, and the entire city were destroyed together. And my system buddy, due to an excessive amount of domain value, experienced its first symptoms of a system crash. Eternal life immortal, venerable was completely crushed in pride by the scene. After completing all of this, I couldn't help but feel refreshed and invigorated. This is just the beginning. I saw a little devil with a face full of resentment, shouting at me, intruder, murderer. But in that moment of seeing this little devil, I was somewhat stunned. Could I have been wrong? Just as I was stunned because of a little devil, several powerful energies arrived in an instant, feeling this power that was almost identical to my clone. So those old guys behind the scenes finally arrived, Before that chattering little devil could say anything else, I directly left without hesitation, leaving only several large fireballs flying towards the little devil. Looking at the blazing fire not far away, I had no trace of mercy after all. People from the upper realm are all the same. A cold voice echoed in the high sky. Chinchaman, you trample upon the immortal realm. Slaughter the immortals, commit heinous crimes. Even if you were hanged and quartered 10,000 times, it would not be enough to quell our rage. Looking at the large domain values on my head truly makes one excited. Eternal life, immortal venerable, seeing the situation about to be reversed, suddenly burst into laughter. What courage you have! How can it shake the heavens and the earth? And he resumed recording with his pen. The trash from the upper realm excitedly shouted, It's the five elders have come quick. Kill Chunchanan and avenge us. A man wearing golden armor slightly spoke. Nine-state scum, you're the first person in tens of thousands of years to force us to take action. I advise you to think carefully about your impending death. I saw the 5 immortal emperors of the upper realm discard their previous appearances and don their battle armor from some time ago. Looking at the guy in front of me, who was spouting nonsense, I was starting to get impatient. If you want to fight, then fight. If you don't want to fight, then obediently accept death. Why so much nonsense? This young master am busy with important matters. Slang Marshall burst into mad laughter. Interesting. These lower realm people are truly arrogant. If you're so eager to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Then with a wave of her hand, the surrounding lightning transformed into a black thunder dragon. The miscellaneous people in the arena trembled at this scene. It's elder slaying Marshall's thunder technique. Even from 1,000 miles away, one can feel the clear current as the person involved. I neither dodged nor avoided. I forcefully stomped on the ground and turned into a white light, swinging my dog-beating stick. Just a little snake thinking you're a dragon. Immediately a loud noise came from behind, and under the pitch-black eye mask, the Crimson Crow finally showed a trace of alertness. Just as I was swinging the stick at that guy, I didn't expect that figure to disappear directly into thin air. Seeing Slaying Marshall reappear, I was a bit puzzled. It seems that the immortal Emperor realm does indeed have special means. Second Elder, seeing this provocation, beckoned me with his hand and said, You don't have much skill, do you? I overestimated you. You are ultimately just a dog that came up from the lower realm, doomed to die under our torment. Suddenly the 2 immortal emperors simultaneously unleashed their strongest powers and attacked me. I couldn't evade their sudden attack, and the blue-purple energy exploded in front of me. emitting a breath that shook the heavens and the earth. Not only that, Slang Marshall suddenly appeared by my side, gathering the power of thunder in her hand. Once again die. You shall die before this deity. I only slightly tilted my body, and a curve appeared at the corner of my mouth. Is that all you've got mocking them? I swung my stick down. Now that's called an attack. Darling, compared to their combined efforts, the power of my strike surpassed theirs in every aspect. With just one swing of my stick, I destroyed the surroundings once again, without giving me a chance to catch my breath. An attack containing the essence of the Tao, like flowing water, came at me from the immortal Emperor realm. Behind me are millions of immortal families. Your resolve cannot match ours. And in terms of strength, the 5 emperors once joined forces to kill peak experts. Your petty hatred is useless. Along with the spreading sound, the power in the hands of the Grand Elder continued to expand as the terrifying sound dissipated. Only faint dust remained on the ground. The indifferent voice of the Grand Elder resounded. The outcome is decided. We have won. The Grand Elder turned around and left directly, while instructing the 3rd Elder. Join me in descending to the lower realm later, and completely eradicate 9 state. The 3rd Elder, however, laughed heartily. The lower realm is nothing but a flick of our hands. Before the 3rd Elder could finish speaking, a voice of panic suddenly rang out. That kid is not dead. Or rather, he miraculously came out and escaped. And I responded to that so-called Grand Elder. Your self-proclaimed resolve is not worthy of high-sounding speeches. It is you who should be eradicated. My reappearance instantly caught the Grand Elder off guard, and they once again launched a siege against me. Not far away, Jiang Ningran, sensing the energy emanating from the immortal island, I was greatly surprised to endure for so long, under the siege with the elders. She also contacted Jiang Yuchang, who had a close connection with me. Do you know who this Qin Chainin is? What does he want to achieve? After a long pause, Jiang Yuchan's voice finally came through. Qin Chainin's true strength is unfathomable. He seeks revenge for every grievance. I'm afraid they have truly crossed his bottom line. This time Jiang, the head of the family, looked towards Jiang Xianju beside him. Bottom line. But the profound strength of the immortal domain far surpasses the lower realm. What meaning does his action hold? Moreover, given the current situation, he won't be able to hold on for much longer before being subdued by the 5 elders. On the other side of the communication,
Jade pendant Zhang Yushang spoke softly.
That is just one of the countless clones of Qin Chong, and his true body is still in 9 state. Upon hearing this explosive news, the expression in the eyes of the Jiang family head was filled with fear. So it turns out that we are the so-called ants. Just the thought that the one fighting against the 5 elders is just one of the countless clones made the Jiang family head scalp tingle. It's merely a clone, and yet it possesses the cultivation of the immortal Emperor realm. With this in mind, a slight chill from behind instantly penetrated the Jiang family head's mind. From the very beginning, his target was not Jiang Xianchu, but the immortal domain itself. In the midst of the conversation, I, relying on my overwhelming strength, crushed the arrogant 2nd Elder. The system also admitted that familiar prompt sound. Congratulations, host, for killing an immortal Emperor realm. You have obtained 150 million domain value. Suddenly, a purple-haired immortal Emperor teleported behind me, enveloping me in its embrace. I, the Emperor, will make you accompany me in death. Before I could react, this fellow directly triggered the immense power within himself. In an instant, a massive energy sphere appeared in the gloomy sky, capable of covering the heavens and the earth. This energy also caused the entire immortal domain to tremble. As this terrifying energy exploded, a gigantic cosmic rift appeared above the immortal domain, destroying the entire island below it. The shaken Grand Elder spoke slowly, still feeling lingering fear. If we are affected by Old Fourth's attack, even we will find it difficult to survive. The 5th Elder looked at the dark clouds in the distance, feeling as if something had gripped her heart. Catch fourth elder who was like a burning ember, the body of slain marshal, unexpectedly began to tremble uncontrollably. Fourth brother, then she looked up to the sky. With just one swing of the stick, completely annihilated my soul. Fourth brother then detonated the immortal court. In exchange for chinchins, we have suffered heavy losses, and those from the upper realm, who have tasted the taste of war, are now praying softly like weaklings. I must die. The dense smoke dissipates, revealing my nearly collapsed body. Without a doubt for a moment, the pitiful beings from the upper realm all shouted in unison, finally. That guy is finally dead. Long live the elders. The observer of the immortal realm. Eternal life immortal. Venerable is equally excited. Dead, he's dead. The 5 elders joined forces to annihilate the invaders from the lower realm, achieving a complete victory. Grand Elder suddenly came in front of Old Fourth. Although Chin Chanen had the strength of the immortal Emperor realm, he lacks much combat experience. I still have a reincarnation technique to resurrect you. After my body descends, the ugly faces of the beings from the immortal realm once again reveal themselves. Without a doubt, cut the invaders from the lower realm into 5 parts, and hang them in the most conspicuous place, in the lower realm. Ha ha ha. Just at that moment, the Grand Elder suddenly sensed something unusual, a more terrifying aura gradually awakening, as golden talismans fell from the sky and entered my clone. The arrogant leaks from the upper realm were instantly extinguished by this aura. Seeing this, the Grand Elder hastily shouted, "Quick, destroy that talisman with me." And my terrifying voice resounded throughout the entire immortal domain. "You insignificant creatures, I have returned. Tremble to your heart's content, you ants." As they saw my ghostly figure appear once again, the beings from the upper realm finally sank into endless despair. Even the pen of eternal life, immortal venerable, recording history, suddenly fell, trembling as it gazed at my figure, resurrected again. I then revealed the aura of an domain lord realm. Upon hearing the clamor behind me, I slowly spoke, "Don't be impatient. Each and every one of you will die in the end." And I soared into the sky. The shockwave caused by my rise also shook the continent. The Grand Elder, despairing as he watched me depart, shouted desperately, "Quick, stop him. That's the direction of the immortal court." But as a domain lord, how could I be disturbed by them? In an instant I arrived at the most important place in the immortal domain. Looking at the magnificent scene before me, couldn't help but sneer. The thing you've gone to great lengths to protect is nothing but what's right in front of you, the pillar that supports the 2 realms. A few arriving immortal emperors warned me with urgency, "Do not touch this place, otherwise both realms will be doomed." Hearing the clamor, I became increasingly annoyed. With a casual move, I pierced through the 2 of them. "Don't hinder me." The Grand Elder, sensing this suffocating power, completely lost his ability to resist. I raised my arm high. The immortal realm views the lower realm as ants, the grudges of the lower realm that cannot be avenged. I will avenge them. The entire world became fragmented. If the lower realm loses, what use is the upper realm? At the same time, sounds of turmoil emanated from the rainbow robe. Immortal domain, a rebuke resounded from within. "How dare you intrude into the domain lord's residence?" Do you know, before that voice could finish speaking, it abruptly ceased. An old man with tattered clothes and a straw hat slowly walked forward. The guards behind him seemed to realize something, trembling all over. "Are you perhaps an associate of that Chin Chanen?" But the old man didn't hide anything. Instead, he stopped and looked up at the sky. "The black tortoise immortal domain has actually fallen. Could it be because of that kid? He actually succeeded in developing the eternal life." Body. A faint smile appeared at the corner of the old man's mouth. "Beneath the straw hat, that kid has grown up. This old bone can't fall behind. I must quicken my pace." Then a golden light burst forth from his eyes. Since that's the case, it's time to unleash the power that has been sealed for 1,000 years. With a random tug, the tattered clothes on his body were removed. This person is none other than Shen Chuanan's master, Feng Qiyun, with just a raise of his hand. The formation left by the domain lord was directly shattered. The surrounding guards were astonished. They were all too familiar with this power. But why would a mere mortal possess the power of a domain lord? Upon hearing the barking-like sound,
Feng chien coldly snorted.
And walked straight towards the main hall. On the side of the black tortoise immortal domain, because I destroyed the pillar that connected the two realms. The entire immortal domain became fragmented. The so-called immortals from the upper realm were filled with despair in their eyes, shouting desperately, I don't want to fall back to that wretched place. In the lower realm I am an immortal, am supreme and transcendent, ruling at the pinnacle of the world. And the person who recorded the history of the myriad realms was now sitting weakly on the scroll. The immortal domain actually collapsing. Impossible. I refuse to accept it. Despite shouting in every possible way, as the recorder of history, even if driven into madness, one must record the true history. But in the next moment he was completely crushed by the scattered fragments of the immortal domain, along with the history of the black tortoise. Immortal domain disappearing into the river of history. The so-called Grand Elder was still overwhelmed by the scene before him. For tens of thousands of years, no enemy had ever harmed the immortal domain, even in the slightest. But now, then, he mustered the last trace of courage in his heart. Boy, do you realize the enormous sin you've committed, looking at the Grand Elder who was once glorious, but now reduced to this state. I couldn't help but find it amusing. Enormous sin when immortals regarded the lives of the beings in the lower realm as mere weeds. Did you ever think about this? Now you have the nerve to speak to me like this. Feeling the power that transcended dimensions, the few remaining elders finally understood how ridiculous the previous battles were. The Grand Elder also woke up at this moment. Could it be that his goal from beginning to end was the world tree? He was just playing a game with us earlier. Before long, the suffocating energy turned into a ball of light. Under my manipulation I raised my foot high, so even the lofty immortals can feel fear. Well, enjoy this long-sealed fear to the fullest, because your lives end here. As I shot the ball, the mighty immortal emperor was instantly killed by it. Witnessing the shocking scene, Slang Marshal also heard the warning bell from hell. Slang Marshal, who was about to turn around and beg for mercy, was intercepted and beheaded by my swift kick. At the end of their lives, attempting to awaken the so-called higher power, despite facing the fear of death, the Grand Elder managed to utter word by word, Chinchaman, do you think you can get away with what you've done? Looking at the desperate Grand Elder, resorting to any means possible, I couldn't help but show a mocking look. Oh, now you're preaching. But who are you trying to impress? Do you think at this point I still care about so-called escape routes? After feeling this boundless fear, the Grand Elder fled at the fastest speed he had ever reached in his life. Wait until I awaken the Domain Lord. Then you'll know what true despair is. Watching the figure of the old man fleeing, I smiled indifferently once again. I gathered a huge ball of light in my hand. I don't have the habit of letting trash escape. At the same time, I fiercely threw out the scorching energy in my hand. You'd better die with your brothers and sisters. But in an instant the energy, capable of destroying an entire immortal domain, caught up to the Grand Elder. This also left the Grand Elder, who had gone to call for reinforcements. Completely in despair, repeatedly, he muttered those words.
Impossible.
How is it possible for this to happen so quickly? But the expected scene did not occur. An unexpected hand emerged from somewhere, and easily blocked it. But it couldn't stop the energy from splitting. This energy seemed to tear apart the heavens and the earth. Just as the energy was about to destroy everything, the scattered rays of light unexpectedly converged in one direction. This unexpected turn of events finally made me alert, as the light sphere vanished, and the Grand Elder, who should have turned to ashes, stood there perfectly fine, his eyes filled with radiance. Domain Lord, you have emerged from seclusion, only to see a man exuding endless majesty, standing in midair. A voice as cold as ice slowly resounded. I secluded myself for 3,000 years, leaving the affairs of the immortal realm to all of you. But you let the immortal realm fall. You have truly disappointed me. After speaking, he reached out to grab the Grand Elder, who held the prestigious title of Immortal Emperor, realm underneath the entire world. The Grand Elder's screams echoed incessantly. Suddenly the system alarm sounded, detecting a powerful individual. In the Immortal Emperor realm, the system is temporarily unable to retrieve the opponent's information. I paid no attention to the system's warning. It seems this guy is different from those small fry, but as long as the main body is still alive, I can use my clone then at the next moment. That cold voice resounded once again. You little brat. Do you think that, as long as the main body is alive, you can use your clone to defeat me? And he lifted the head of my immortal Emperor Rome. Clone, who do you think I am? I am a god. After speaking, he threw it towards me. Pick up your head and then kneel. Meanwhile, Feng Qiyun arrived at the core area of the rainbow robe, immortal domain, feeling the aura of the domain lord. Feng Qiyun was filled with worry. But everything at the moment was too suspicious. Whether it's me or that kid, we have caused quite a commotion. Yet we still haven't seen any other domain lords. Just then, a green skin ghost suddenly appeared behind Feng Qian. Reacting instantly, Feng Qian raised his hand and shot a beam of light behind him. With just one strike, that figure fell to the ground. At the moment Feng Qian saw the green skin ghost, a cold sweat seeped out of his face. You are the domain lord of the rainbow robe, immortal domain. How could you have already lost the breath of life? Feng Qian couldn't help but shudder. Who on earth can silently kill a domain lord? After turning over the remains, only an empty shell was left. Seeing this tragic sight, Feng Qian seemed to remember something. Oh no. Immediately he passed through the teleportation array. The domain lords of the Azure Dragon, Immortal Domain, and the Vermilion Bird, Immortal Domain, were both hollowed out and killed. Looking at the domain lords in front of him, each one dead in a gruesome manner, a horrifying thought emerged. Who was that previous aura from on the battlefield? Regarding this self-proclaimed god, I ignited a hint of fighting spirit and wore a genuine, divine smile. Do you also want to dance? In terms of seniority, you should call me ancestor. Looking at this arrogant immortal in the air, my contemptuous voice echoed. Those who dare to speak to me like that have already gone to the underworld together. From what I see, the one who should be kneeling like a dog is you. Countless rays of light swirled around my fingertips and shot towards that person, only to see the golden silhouette snort coldly, casually blocking the attack. The indifferent expression was unmistakable. No need for probing. Show me all your true abilities. I was somewhat surprised by this person's strength. I didn't expect this kid's power to be so strong, even as in domain lord system. How much longer until the Black Tortoise, Immortal Domain, falls into the Invincible realm? Based on the speed of the Immortal Domain's descent, it is estimated to take 10 minutes. Hearing the system's prompt, I couldn't help but let out a cold smile. Then let's play with him for 10 minutes after that, haha. After all, it's not easy to come across such a big fat sheep. I must thoroughly exploit his value. In the midst of my distraction, a gigantic black lotus had already appeared before me. Upon seeing that black lotus, I couldn't help but think, this is bad. When was it? Flashes of black lightning continuously burst out from the black lotus. For a moment, the black aura engulfed the floating island I was on. Even the void seemed to be faintly tearing apart, and that man who claimed to be a god still maintained a calm and composed demeanor. As long as his aura remains, he will still make a move. The dark lotus will mislead his direction, so I can only kill him from the front. The moment he shows himself, Everything is within my grasp. Just then, I swiftly surged out from below and threw a punch, smashing it towards that guy's face. Under my fist the size of a sandbag, and that kid's figure turned into a streak of light and flew tens of thousands of meters, before finally coming to a stop. Then with a flash I appeared by his side. So you like to play sneak attacks? I happen to be the ancestor of sneak attacks. Dare to play this game with me? Then my right hand transformed into a golden dragon, accompanied by resounding dragon roars, and swiftly approached. Before I could overturn that bastard, a black hand suddenly blocked my attack, replaced by a mocking smile. This man merely lifted his hand and dissolved my attack. There's a world of difference between you and me. Your resistance is all in vain. The man's eyes were filled with desire. Your physical celestial power satisfies me quite well. Why not become a part of me? Feeling that hungry gaze unexpectedly. The fantasy world is also not short of perverts, with such a tiny bit of strength. Have you all been spoiled? Then let's give it a try. My mighty power instantly pierce through the entire world. Meanwhile, in the mortal realm, peace has returned after that war. The lingering smoke proves the damage that the battle inflicted. On the 9 state, the streets and alleys are filled with people who survived that battle. Suddenly, a man forcefully pushed Lin Bao's hand away and shouted, in terror while looking at the sky, "Look, the sky is falling." Lin Bao also turned towards the direction of that man, filled with shock. Suddenly, the peaceful sky was once again illuminated by flames. Countless fireballs were rapidly descending towards the moral realm. The people in the city noticed the giant fireballs approaching at high speed. The fear from yesterday resurfaced once again. Amidst the panic of the people, a man's voice suddenly rang out, "Look, I think I saw the governor of a state. The governor of a state has returned." It seems that the governor of a state is trapped in a terrifying battle. Lin Bao immediately shouted, "By you. Now that the flying immortal mountain outside Cloud State has been destroyed, we don't know what's happening in the upper realm. You should take the master's original body and enter the space ring to hide. Then look up at the sky once that thing falls. The entire 9 state will face its final doomsday." The system's notification also sounded. Officially, the Black Tortoise immortal domain is about to fall into the Invincible realm. There is 1 minute left at this moment. I was panting heavily, gasping for breath. After fighting for so long, this guy is completely unharmed. I didn't expect this guy to be so tough. He's the first formidable enemy I've encountered. Then I wiped the sweat from my chin and smiled with satisfaction. The game will become interesting this way. After all, it's boring to only crush the opponent unilaterally. And that golden-haired guy still had an arrogant look on his face. It seems your clone is quite resilient. You've managed to survive for so long without dying. A mere commoner dares to imagine defeating a god. It's truly laughable. Your fate has always been the same from the beginning. Death. Then he exerted force with both hands. A burst of pink energy appeared out of thin air. The 8 wilderness divine blade strikes. As that voice echoed, several slashes manifested in the void and came slashing towards me, one after another. Facing such fierce power, I could only exert all my strength to defend myself. My body has reached its limit of endurance. Traces of blood cover my entire body. The voice from the system carries a hint of resentment. Countdown to the fall of the Black Tortoise. Immortal Domain 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. With each decreasing number, my murderous intent gradually increases. Even though my body is immobilized, a smile appears on the corner of my mouth. Suddenly the giant hand appears. A mocking voice follows suit. "The game is over, kid." That golden-haired guy actually pierced through my chest in the final seconds and continued to crash towards the ground. Meanwhile, I control my dying body and hold on to him tightly. Indeed, it's time for this game to end. Perhaps you were high and mighty in the upper realm, but in my territory you don't even have the chance to kneel down and be my dog. The voice of the system immediately resounds. Host, the clone has entered the realm's range. An angry message pops up immediately. Host, I am furious. Whether they are gods or saints, they must die at this moment. My palm suddenly reaches out and grabs the self-proclaimed divine being. Fear finally stains the eyes of the golden-haired guy. Unable to break free, how is this possible? I, who was supposed to lose my life force, once again open my eyes. The voice surpassing the heavens and earth echoes throughout the entire world. You're nothing, the one who should die is you. A force containing the breath of destruction illuminates the entire world, directly striking the man's body. Due to the excessive energy of this strike, it not only kills the man's body outright, but also generates a terrifying aura of blood throughout the entire world. Enormous domain value is being calculated. I inwardly sigh in relief, thankful that the clone can experience the power of the realm once, or else in the next instant. A slender arm suddenly extends from that wound. Witnessing this situation, I can only exclaim how insane it is. Can this guy actually resurrect? Immediately after, a voluptuous and glamorous woman appears. Could this be the grand transformation? The change from male to female? A huge half-human, half-demon woman hovers in the air. Unlike the man's cold arrogance, she exudes an icy coldness. I told you your struggle is meaningless. But I'm unfazed. You think you've won, just because you've changed your appearance. However, I quickly notice something amiss. The woman's aura does not belong to this realm. The casual wave of her hand. Black energy coils around, approaching me, just as I prepare to dodge. My body inexplicably freezes in place, and strands of black, purple aura gush out from my mouth. With this aura, my body transforms into black energy, converging towards the woman's body. Yet the silver-haired woman shows no emotional fluctuations. Instead, she looks towards the distance with a solemn expression, as if sensing the location of my true self. At the same time, I finally return to my true self, secretly shocked by everything that just happened. What on earth is that thing? As I returned to my original form, the dominating witch suddenly moved away from the cloud state. She watched the impending destruction of the 9 states below, but hesitated to approach. All because she sensed a suffocating power. The moment I entered, she secretly speculated that it must be some kind of domain. And Ben wore a delighted expression and murmured to herself, if I hadn't timely escaped from that body just now, the outcome of this battle would truly be uncertain. Furthermore, the end is already near. The destruction of the immortal realm. The arrival of my demon tribe is also inevitable. Inside the spatial ring, Lin Bao saw me wake up from my slumber, and anxiously asked about the current situation. I still maintained a composed appearance. Don't panic, everything is under control. Meanwhile, the witch proclaimed the conclusion of this grand battle. Loudly in the sky, today's battle ends here. Enjoy your final moments, mortals. During the conversation, a peculiar-shaped spire suddenly appeared, followed closely by numerous monsters and demons. Sensing what was behind her, the witch laughed even more recklessly. Once our tribe arrives, the ants will have only one choice: to either submit or die. After completing all this, the witch flew toward the teleportation portal. Just before stepping in, she glanced back at the continent with a slightly reluctant expression, and a thought-provoking smile played on her lips. Kid, will meet again. Although I couldn't see the woman's figure, I sensed something and looked in that direction. At the same time, the crumbling black tourist continent finally fell onto the 9 states, causing a series of explosions. 15 minutes later, as a pink energy emanated from the ring, the figures of each and every rebel appeared once again, whispering with lingering fear. As I looked at the smoke that had not yet dispersed around me, we actually survived. And they looked at me standing amidst the ruins. Cheers erupted in an instant. It's governor of a state. It's governor of a state who protected us. Just as I was about to show off and make the entire cloud state worship me, The two eager individuals rushed towards me, rubbing against me recklessly. Did those troublemakers causing the commotion just let them go like that? Feeling the softness of the girls once again, I couldn't help but exclaim that this is the life I desired. But I still maintained a saintly appearance. On the outside, don't chase after defeated enemies. Let them go this time. Whenever I thought about that mysterious woman from earlier, I clenched my teeth in anger. That was a clone worth 100 million. That damned woman just made it disappear like that, although I could easily deal with her. By expanding my domain's range slightly, I could sense numerous powerful beings in that spire. Even if I could eliminate most of them, there would inevitably be some survivors. Thinking about this, a trace of drool uncontrollably leaked from the corners of my mouth. Once my domain value is sufficient to cover it, I must take care of them all in one go. While I was lost in boundless imagination, a golden light suddenly descended, revealing a man clad in the same robe as me, standing tall. Feeling the formidable aura emanating from him, a sense of familiarity rushed into my heart. The man's voice also carried a hint of joy. It's really you, kid. You've caused quite a big trouble this time. You really don't let me relax, huh? I arrived in front of him. That figure so familiar it couldn't be more familiar. Indeed, it was the old man. My dear master, although I enthusiastically asked the old man where he had been all these years. Deep down in my heart, I cursed him incessantly. Not only did he abandon me and run away, but now he had even regained his appearance. The old man, seeing the situation, also smiled and extended his hand. The battle of true men began instantly, and as we stepped on the ground, whirlwinds emerged around us. I didn't expect this old man to still be so amazing. After all these years, my disciple, I know you have many questions, but we'll discuss them later. The enemies you're facing this time are extraordinary. They are beings more terrifying than the upper realm of mortal domain. If I'm not mistaken, they come from the ancient continent. Upon hearing this unfamiliar term, I was also somewhat surprised. The ancient continent legend has it that it existed since the beginning of chaos, and countless races were born on that land. The demon tribe is one of them, and they engaged in a war, lasting billions of years to compete for resources. However, a small portion of them grew tired of the war, and together they broke through the dimensional barrier, which is the realm we are in, and they became the first rulers of the upper realm, immortal domain. But as time passed, the celestial beings forgot their origins, and they began plundering resources from the lower realm, and I was one of those plunderers, engaging in frenzied slaughter. An insatiable desire for conquest, fueled by blood. That was the person I used to be. But during one of the raids, my blood accidentally dripped onto the artifact of a certain lord of the lower realm. And then that power drew me into an illusory realm. Within it, I saw the invasion of the ancient continent, witnessing the tragic scene of the immortal domain, and all beings in the lower realm withering away. Only later did I learn the origin of that artifact. It was one of the original artifacts from the ancient continent that was brought into this realm. Based on my investigations, the more frequent the conflicts among the upper realm inhabitants, the more our ancient bloodline within us awakens, allowing the people from the ancient continent to sense our location. To prevent the situation from evolving into the scene I witnessed after much searching, I obtained another ancient artifact, and I intend to use it as a warning to the upper realm. Little did they know, not only did they not listen, but they also harbored greed for the artifact, and they destroyed my immortal domain. Left with no choice, I had to descend to the lower realm in a roundabout way, to save the situation. In fact, I exhausted my entire life to delay even a joss stick's worth of time for the people, and I still fell short in the end. It was only just now that I came to realize that the demon tribe invaded the body of a domain lord tens of thousands of years ago. Upon hearing this, Lin Bao expressed soulful doubt. If they were so powerful, why didn't they directly attack instead of fleeing? The old man shook his head slowly, unaware of the true meaning behind it. Hearing the old man's words, I'm glad I didn't act just now. This deeply hidden determination is probably not as simple as it seems. If my domain's range is large enough, those guys are ultimately just a group of nourishment. The system should sell the account now, and also check how much domain value is needed to revive everyone and my wife. Domain value settlement completed. Host destroyed Black Tortoise. Immortal domain and killed countless immortals, gaining a total of 950 million domain value. Domain range from the flying immortal mountain to cloud state, possessing the skills all living beings. True resolution of immortal Tao. Perfect special effects dominion over life and death. Mirror flower water moon. Immortal Tao eternal system. Warehouse capacity 10 slots. Salted fish gift pack 99+. Mythical realm keys 1 boundary fragments 99+. Exchanging for the domain. Lord's avatar deducts 400 million domain value. Due to borrowing 200 million at that time, the deduction now is 400 million. Current domain value 550 million. At the same time, a smile of a small person, achieving success appeared on its face. Thank you for your patronage to this damn system. I'll vent my anger when I go up there 400 million. Do you know how long it takes for me to earn 400 million? It disappeared in the blink of an eye. Little did I know the system would be so aggrieved. Is it because I had a good time that I don't have to spend money anymore? After a moment of thought, I felt much more relieved. After all, domain value is meant to be used when earned. At the same time, I tightly clenched the system panel dog-like thing. I want to revive everyone who died within the domain value. Reviving everyone who died within the domain value requires deducting 100 million. Domain value, do you want to continue? Yes, domain value has been deducted. Using the power to control life and death. For a moment, a surge of revitalizing spring breeze spread across the entire continent. Before long, green rays of light entered the bodies of countless commoners. Not only the commoners, even the lords of the various states also came back to life under the spring breeze, and those who survived by chance were dumbfounded. The deceased have actually come back to life. The sound of reunions echoed throughout the entire continent for a moment. Fong Qian's eyes were dazzled by the miracles happening before him. What on earth is happening? And among them was the person who was once occupied by the slaying heaven along with his sister, who also came back to life. Seeing their reunion since they are alive, only one thing remains. Then I turned into a residual shadow and disappeared from the spot. The next moment I appeared in the sky. Jiang Mingren's heart sank as she looked at the approaching figure. At the same time, she changed to a respectful tone. I have already carried out your orders as you commanded. After this, please fulfill your promise. Looking at Jiang Xianchu, who still couldn't wake up, I simply asked in a faint tone, System, what is the reason? Jiang Xuanchu's soul is damaged and unable to wake up. Detecting a new task to awaken Jiang Xianchu, because her soul is severely damaged. The power of the unity of heaven and earth must be used to repair her broken soul. Before she can be awakened, reward current domain value doubled. Unity of heaven and earth. I remember the old man just said, the artifacts of the ancient continent have the power of the unity of heaven and earth. Detecting that, the host has reached the basic requirements for upgrading to the Invincible domain. Activate the upgrade conditions. Upgrade condition 1, ascend from the lower realm. Domain covers the entire 9 states. Merge into thousands of immortal domains. Upgrade condition 2. Prepare 20 million domain value to upgrade the system. At the same time, activate a new function, the Immortal Vault of Myriad Beings. Seeing these daunting conditions, a sense of powerlessness surges up. The system seems to be oblivious to the situation, casually saying, the estimated coverage of the 9-state continent is 1.92 billion. Faced with this century's great pit in front of me, all I want is to start over with a different system. But soon, I became resigned to everything in a certain realm. In the lower realm, a shocked voice resounded throughout the entire tower. The black tortoise immortal domain has fallen, or rather it has fallen into the weakest 9-state realm. And the ones questioning this are the 3 giants of the youth realm. According to the information from the scouts, not only has the immortal domain fallen, there's also a group of external forces invading. Suddenly an extremely arrogant voice appeared in the hearts of everyone in the myriad realms. Listen up, you ants from all realms. This is a warning from the demon clan. The 3 individuals who were in discussion were shocked and looked up, one after another. The old man felt a movement in his heart. An exceptionally powerful aura suddenly descended upon our realm. The people in this realm also stopped what they were doing. But that voice did not pause in the slightest. Listen. Well, all of you have 10 days. Each realm must send a representative to surrender. In our territory, this is your only chance. Those who refuse to surrender will be killed, and the owner of that voice is the woman who fled in a sorry state from my domain range that day. But such arrogant remarks also drew the dissatisfaction of the masters of the various realms. What kind of nonsense is this demon clan? They're just wild dogs that haven't encountered us. They only know how to bark. If you have the ability, come to my spiritual martial domain. I'll teach you how to behave. And these words received support from other realms. Well said, I Wang Xian domain also don't submit to you, and my Changsha domain too. Upon hearing these voices of resistance, the woman remained calm and indifferent. She chuckled softly. I underestimated you all. I didn't expect ants like you to have such strong self-esteem. Then the woman left her seat in the void. She raised her hand high in the sky. In an instant the world changed dramatically, as if it were the end of days. The woman then put on a condescending look. As ants you lack self-awareness. With those words, black, purple lightning instantly illuminated the entire sky. It swept through the land recklessly. One of the 3 giants of the youth realm was filled with fear at this moment. In just an instant, the aura of 5 immortal experts disappeared. Half of the youth realm's land was annihilated, and that voice rang out once again. You better understand. This is not a negotiation with you. I don't care if you submit or not. I'm giving you a choice, it's just to save our time. Do you understand? You answer. At the same time, the golden tower appeared above every realm. At this moment the old man's face became solemn. You just said that finding the lost ancient artifacts would solve them. What happened meanwhile? I waved my hand and slid in the air. During these days, I have explored the mysteries of the eternal life body, one by one, master. This formation is the result of my research. It will expand. Along with the expansion of my spiritual power, the only way to deal with the demon clan is to expand the range of the formation to that tower. Seeing my master suddenly enlightened, I only sigh inwardly. I can only say this. I can't exactly say that I have a system helping me expand my territory right. However, Feng Qiyun rubbed his chin and said in a deep voice, the ancient artifacts, as far as I know, there are 4 of them scattered in the various realms. One of them lost its divinity after awakening me back then, and 2 others have unknown whereabouts. The only one is still lost within the ruins of my former immortal domain. Although I can go back and retrieve it, the power of just 1 artifact won't be enough, and the final battle will take place in 10 days, which I'm afraid won't be enough time. Just when everyone was at a loss, Lin Bao suddenly spoke up and asked, what are the characteristics of these artifacts? Upon hearing this, Fang Qim casually replied, the location of the ancient artifacts must be a place abundant in spiritual energy, because the power of the ancient artifacts is immense, and can even cause ecological changes in the area, giving rise to creatures that cannot be understood by conventional means. Bai Yu, who had been quietly listening nearby, couldn't help but murmur in response to the last sentence. Strange transformations and incomprehensible creatures. Just when we were at a loss, Bai Yu suddenly said from the side, Senior, if that's the case, I know a place. our heavenly demon ancient fox sect, actually known as a branch of the Green Peak Domains. Fox Demon Clan. It is said that within the territory of the Fox Demon Clan, in Green Peak Domain there is a secret realm. Not only is it abundant in spiritual energy, the creatures inside have physical characteristics, several times larger than ordinary ones. Even the lakes there possess unique healing and detoxifying effects. Fan Qian's eyes lit up, convinced that there must be an artifact in that place. Meanwhile, I looked at the old man with doubt. Are you sure? Fan Qian reaffirmed his judgment, and proposed a plan to split the forces. Fan Qian will go in search of the artifact that was lost in the ruins of the immortal domain. I shouted for Baiyu to guide me, in search of the hidden artifact. In the Green Peak Domain immediately, Fan Qian transformed into a stream of light, and disappeared from the spot. The system used the fragments of the domain to create a domain card that can traverse the lower realms. Also exchange 400 million points for an immortal lord avatar. Insufficient points. Would you like to borrow? Yes. After my affirmative answer, a more powerful avatar suddenly appeared in front of me. Upon seeing this avatar radiating golden light, Yu and Lin Bao simultaneously had a bold idea in their minds, but I had no time to pay attention to them. I turned around and instructed Lin Bao, if there is any danger in the 9 state, wake me up immediately. Lin Bao, eager and full of enthusiasm, pledged to take good care of me. Although Lin Bao exuded an unreliable vibe all over his body, time was pressing now, and there was no time to linger here. Calling out to Baiyu, we prepared to go to the Green Peak Domain. Under the influence of the system, a golden teleportation array appeared before us. In the moment of crossing this array, the mischievous voice of the system sounded. The host has arrived. At the lower realm of the Green Peak Domain, a new adventure begins.